Good morning, my dear students. Once again, welcome to online classes which are conducting by Diamond Group of Institutions. This is Mr. V.S. Rao, Senior Bio Faculty from Diamond Group of Institutions. Right. Dear students, in this class, I want to explain regarding to the topic name is immunity. What is meant by immunity and what are the different types of the immunity I want to explain very clear in this class. First of all, I would like to explain about the definition of immunity. What is meant by immunity? The meaning, otherwise the definition for immunity is the ability of an organism to resist the development of disease is called immunity. Next one, immunology. What is meant by immunology? The study about immunity is called immunology. Next, father of immunology. Father of immunology. Edward Jenner. Now have a look here. First of all, I would like to explain about the definition of the immunity. Right after that one, what is meant by immunology, and right after that one, who is the father of immunology. If you are looking at the definition of immunity, it seems to be like this. The ability, that means the capacity or capability of an organism to resist the development of one particular disease or any disease is called as इम्यूनिटी. इम्यूनिटी का मतलब क्या बोल सकता है कि हमारा शरीर को जो भी हो व्याधि, वो व्याधि डेवलपमेंट होने के समय पे हमारा शरीर में थोड़ा पावर होता है, नेचुरली आता है, बाय बर्थ आता है हमको. वो पावर क्या करता है कि डिसीज डेवलपमेंट को रोक सकता है. Such kind of the power which will comes naturally by birth to each and every human being's body is called as immunity or immunity power. If we are having the perfect immunity power, we are not simply affecting by whatever the diseases are. If somebody having that in their body, very less amount of the immunity power is present there, and such kind of the people, they can easily affecting by small and simple diseases also. For example, common cold is there. Common cold is contaminated diseases. It can easily contaminating from one person to another person. People, those are having very less amount of the immunity power, they can easily affecting by the small and simple diseases also. But somebody is not like that. Somebody having that very high resistance power in their body. In such kind of the conditions, what the thing is going to happen, so whatever the disease cannot be developing in their body. Why? Because of their having high resistance power, otherwise high immunity power. That's what. That is the meaning and the definition of immunity. Right. And looking at the second one is immunology. What is meant by immunology? Actually, immunology is a branch of biology which deals with immunity power and what are the most important components which are present in the immunity. Immunology है ना, एक ब्रांच ऑफ बायोलॉजी है, किसके बारे में अध्ययन करता है? इम्यूनिटी पावर के बारे में अध्ययन कर सकता है. That's what. So simply immunology is is a branch of biology which is going to study about immunity and the most important components which are present there inside the immunity. That's what. And right after that one, lastly, father of immunity. Father of immunity we are calling here. This scientist is designated by the title Father of Immunology, Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner belongs to England. In the year 1796, he discovered a powerful vaccine against smallpox disease. Vaccination or vaccine, first of all, discovered by Edward Jenner in the year 1796 against the smallpox disease. That's why the scientist who is from England designated by the title Father of Immunology. Right. This is the brief introduction regarding to immunity. In the board examination point of view, they might have asked you, define the term immunity. What is immunity? Right. And the second one is what is immunology? And the third one is who is considered as the father of immunology? These three questions are very, very important regarding to board examination point of view. Right. That is the brief introduction regarding to immunity. Now, I would like to explain. Immunity can be divided into how many types? That's what. Now, have a look here. Immunity, this can be broadly divided or classified into two types. Number one is goes in favor of innate immunity. And number two is goes in favor of acquired immunity. Acquired immunity. Innate immunity otherwise is called as or non-specific immunity. Non-specific immunity. Otherwise, we can call this one inborn immunity. Inborn immunity. Now, looking at this side, acquired immunity, otherwise is called as a specific immunity. Now, have a look here. Looking at the immunity which is present in the human being's body, that can be broadly divided or classified into two important types. Number one, innate immunity, and number two, acquired immunity. Now, looking at innate immunity, this can be called in another way non-specific immunity. Otherwise, we can call this one inborn immunity. Right. Now, looking at the acquired immunity otherwise is called as specific immunity. Right. Now, have a look here. Innate immunity or non-specific immunity or inborn immunity. What is the meaning of innate immunity? The meaning of the innate immunity is like this. Everybody by birth they are having some of the immunity power. This immunity power comes from their mother only. When the baby is present there in the mother's womb in the form of the embryo otherwise the baby can get immunity power from mother body to embryo's body throughout placenta. Right. Such kind of the immunity by birth we are able to get from mother. That's why such kind of the immunity is called as innate immunity or non-specific immunity or inborn immunity. Inborn immunity means by birth it will come. Right. Acquired immunity means what? Acquired immunity means right after birth, whenever the human beings are affected by potential microorganisms. In such kind of the condition only, our immunity power is going to be responding. Such kind of the immunity power is called as acquired immunity. Most likely, acquired immunity is going to showing that primary immunoresponse and secondary immunoresponse, essentially by T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. That is the meaning of acquired immunity, and that is the basic difference which is present in between innate immunity and acquired immunity. Right. Now, I would like to explain what are the most important components which are present in innate immunity in this class. In the very next class, I would like to explain what is meant by acquired immunity. What are the most important components are present there in the acquired immunity? I would like to explain very clear. So in this class, I would like to explain about only innate immunity. Right. Now have a look here. Looking at innate immunity, this can be broadly divided or classified into four important groups. Number one, physical barriers. Number two, physiological barriers. Physiological barriers. Number three, cellular barriers. And number four, cytokine barriers. Now have a look here. In this class, I would like to explain about only innate immunity only. Right. Now looking at innate immunity can be broadly divided or classified into four important groups. Number one is goes in favor of physical barriers. Number two is goes in favor of physiological barriers. Number three is goes in favor of cellular barriers. And lastly, number four is goes in favor of cytokine barriers. So looking at the innate immunity, the first one is physical barriers. What are the most important components which are present in physical barriers? The most important components which are present in physical barriers are, number one is goes in favor of skin. Number two is goes in favor of mucous membrane. Mucous membrane. Right. Physiological barriers. Looking at the physiological barriers, number one is goes in favor of tears. Number two is goes in favor of saliva. Number four is goes in favor of HCl, hydrochloric acid. And cellular barriers. Cellular barriers means simply I can write like this: PMNL. PMNL means poly, morpho, nuclear leukocytes. Looking at the PMNL or polymorphonuclear leukocytes, number one is eosinophils. Number two is basophils. Number three is neutrophils, number 4 is monocytes, and number 5 is lymphocytes. Right. Last one is cytokine barriers. In this category, interferons. Interferons means what? Antiviral proteins. Antiviral proteins. Now have a look here. I would like to give you the explanation regarding to innate immunity. This innate immunity can be broadly divided or classified into 4 important categories. Number 1, physical barriers. Now have a look here. In physical barriers, the first one is goes in favor of skin, and the second one is goes in favor of mucous membrane. Now we know very clear regarding to skin. I would like to give you a few more words regarding to skin. Skin is the largest or the biggest organ in the entire human being's body. Number 1. Number 2 is goes in favor of skin regarding to skin is going to protecting our internal body parts, and on top of that skin is going to regulating the body temperature also. So if any microorganism such as virus, bacteria, fungi, they has to entry inside the human being's body, or they want to get infection into human being's body, first of all a big barrier is present there. Skin only. Skin is going to protecting our whole human being's body. Unfortunately, in some times or in some conditions, what the thing is going to be happens is some wounds or some cuts may be present there on the basis of skin. At that time, the microorganisms can get easily into the human being's body. If any wounds or cuts are not present there, it's very difficult to enter the microorganisms inside the human being's body. According to that one, skin is going to covering the whole body parts, number 1, and skin is not allowing any virus, bacteria, fungus directly inside the human being's body. That's why skin is going to become physical barrier. Barrier means what? Barrier means the thing which is going to stop down is called as a barrier. Barrier का मतलब क्या बोल सकता है कि कौन रोकता है एंट्री वायरस, बैक्टीरिया, फंगी हमारा शरीर के अंदर, वो रोकने वाला अवयव निर्माण को क्या बोल सकता है कि बैरियर्स बोल सकता है. So physical barriers, number 1 is skin, and number 2 is goes in favor of mucous membrane. Mucous membrane means mucous membrane is going to protecting, number 1, gastrointestinal tract, and number 2, urinogenital tract, and number 3, respiratory tract. I would like to give you one final best example here. Now this is one human being's digestive system rough diagram I am going to draw in here, right? Now have a look here, looking at this rough diagram. This is buccal cavity, right after that one esophagus, right after that one stomach, right after that one duodenum, next small intestine, and right after small intestine the next one is goes to the favor of large intestine or big intestine. Now have a look here. The epithelial cells of the mucous membrane is going to line inside the esophagus, right? Right after esophagus, that can be lining, mucous membrane is lining inside the stomach. Right after the stomach, it is lining inside the duodenum. Right after that one, inside the small intestine, inside the large intestine. So the mucous membrane means what? Mucous membrane means it seems to be like a gelatinous material. It seems to be like a gum-like structure. It is consisting or possessing that plenty of epithelial cells. These cells have the ability or capacity capacity. Unfortunately, any microorganism can get entry inside the respiratory system, digestive system or excretory system. Seems to be like a gum-like structure, gelatinous material. They are going to capturing the microorganisms very strongly, and later on they are killing the microorganisms, whatever it may be, either virus, bacteria or fungi, right? So here I gave the fine and best example regarding to gastrointestinal tract, as well as the same type of the mucous membrane is present inside the respiratory tract as well as urinogenital tract. Urinogenital tract means reproductive tract plus excretory tract. Both together simply we are going to call it urinogenital tract. Yes, that is the end of the physical barriers in the form of skin and in the form of mucous membrane, right? Right after physical barriers, the second one is goes in the favor of physiological barriers. Now have a look here. Looking at the physiological barriers, the three important things are present there. The first one is goes in the favor of tears, and the second one is goes in the favor of saliva, and the third one is goes in favor of HCl or hydrochloric acid, right? Now have a look here, tears. Now this is human beings eye, for example, okay? Right after that one, here in this particular area inside the eye, one gland is present here, the yellow color one, I am drawing here. This gland name is called as lacrimal gland. Lacrimal gland. This lacrimal gland had ability or capacity to produce tears. Right. Now looking at the taste of the tears, tears are very salty because of here NaCl ions are present there. Number one. Sometimes some bacterial infection may be present there inside the eye. Whenever the bacterial infection, otherwise any pathogenic infection is present there inside the eye, immediately eye is going to responding. That means this lacrimal gland is going to responding. And the lacrimal gland is going to responding, huge amount of the tears will comes out due to bacterial action or due to viral action, due to whatever the microorganisms action. Inside this tears, one antibacterial enzyme is present there, that is called as a lysosomy. Lysosomy. This lysosomy had an ability or capacity, they can easily prevent the bacterial infection or they can easily kill the bacteria. That's all. So looking at the tears is the fine and best example for physiological barriers. Inside the eye, lacrimal glands are present there. These lacrimal glands have the ability or capacity to produce the tears. In this tears, yes, one type of the protein enzyme, otherwise one enzyme is present there. The enzyme name is called as lysosomy. This lysosomy enzyme is going to prevent the bacterial infection or whatever the microorganisms infection. Right. Next one is goes in favor of saliva. Right. Look here. Looking at saliva, we have that three pairs of the salivary glands are present there inside the mouth. Now, these salivary glands have the ability or capacity to produce that saliva. Okay. Now, the pH value of the saliva is present there approximately 6.4 to 6.7. That means the saliva is working completely on the basis of acidic medium only. Whatever we are going to take in the food material is completely chewing inside the mouth. Later on that can be transferred into stomach, throat, esophagus only. Right. Whenever whatever we are going to take in the food material or drinking water, any bacteria are present there. This inside the saliva, once again, lysosomy is present there. Lysosomy, antibacterial enzyme. This antibacterial enzyme lysosomy has the ability or capacity to kill the bacteria. That is the basic function of lysosomy, which is present inside the saliva. Right. And next one is goes in favor of HCl, hydrochloric acid. Now I have a look here. Regarding to hydrochloric acid, I would like to give you the simple diagrammatic representation. This is human being's stomach, right? Now looking at this stomach inside here on the walls of the stomach, some glands are present there. These glands names are called as gastric glands. These are all gastric glands. These gastric glands have the ability or capacity to produce gastric juice. Gastric juice. This gastric juice is consisting potassium, calcium, and HCl, hydrochloric acid. So here we are really in need of HCl only, hydrochloric acid. The production place of the hydrochloric acid in the human being's digestive system is inside the stomach. Have a look here. Inside the stomach, some of the muscular structures are present there, inside lining. On the basis of this muscular structure, yes, plenty number of gastric glands are present there. These gastric glands have the ability or capacity to produce gastric juice. If you are going to looking at the components of the gastric juice, huge amount of the potassium is there, calcium is there, and H2O, water is also present here, and HCl is also present here. We are really in need of HCl, hydrochloric acid. The pH value of the HCl is approximately 1.5 pH up to 2.0 pH value. That means here HCl is also working on the basis of acidic medium. When we are going to taking the food material by nutrition, when we are going to drinking the water, all together it will be reaching inside the stomach. Inside the stomach, the water is present there, and inside the stomach different types of the food particles are present there. Unfortunately, sometimes our food material or our drinking water is contaminated by some of the virus, bacteria, fungi, whatever it may be. Against all these things, against all these microorganisms which are present inside the stomach along with food material and drinking water, this HCl is going to killing the bacteria essentially. So whatever the bacteria are present there inside our food material, inside our drinking water, bacteria are going to taking action against bacteria will be taken by the action by HCl, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is effectively killing the bacteria, right? So looking at the physiological barriers, three important things has been completed there. Number one, TS. Number two, saliva. And number three, HCl, hydrochloric acid, right? And have a look here looking at the cellular barriers. What is meant by cellular barriers? The meaning for cellular barriers. Here, in this immunity, some of the cells are going to participating to protect the human being's body by the action of any pathogen, bacteria, virus or fungi. That's why we are calling here cellular barriers. Cellular barriers means inside the blood who is present there. Number one, RBC is present there, WBC is present there, blood platelets are present there. Essentially, WBCs, otherwise leukocytes, otherwise white blood cells are present there. These are present there behind of immunity power. These are present there behind of to killing different types of the pathogens. So here, simply whatever the WBCs are present there in our blood, the WBCs are simply writing like this. PMNL. This is the abbreviated form. The total number of the WBCs which are present in the human being's body abbreviated in this form PMNL. P is representing that poly, M is representing that morpho, N is representing that nuclear, and L is representing that leukocytes. Leukocytes otherwise is called as WBC. Both are giving same meaning only, right? What are the different types of the WBCs, otherwise the PMNL? Looking at the PMNL, I would like to show you the diagrammatic representation, right? Have a look here. Now, I would like to draw the WBCs. WBCs means completely in the form of the white color only. I would like to draw 5 different types of the WBCs. Now, looking at the first WBC, the nucleus is present there with 2 lobes. The second one nucleus is present there with 3 lobes, and the third WBC nucleus is present there more than with 3 lobes. And next one, round nucleus is present there, and lastly, yes, the nucleus is present there in this WBC cell in the form of kidney, otherwise in the form of a bean's seed shape, right? Okay. So all 5 together simply we are going to call it PMNL. PMNL means polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Now have a look here. I made it very clear. Eosinophil. This picture belongs to eosinophil. Number 1. Number 2 is belongs to basophil. This picture belongs to basophil. Number 3 is belongs to neutrophil. Number 3. This is neutrophil. And next one is monocyte. Monocyte means the biggest of the big WBC among all these WBCs. This one is number 4 and number 5 is lymphocyte. This is the 5th one. All 5 together simply we are going to call it PMNL. Now have a look here. The specialty of PMNL is or WBCs, otherwise leukocytes, is the smallest of the small WBC is lymphocyte. Number 5. This is right. And the biggest of the big WBC is monocyte. Now all 5 together is called as PMNL. पॉलीमॉर्फो मींस अलग अलग रूप में देख सकता है. क्या देख सकता है? उसका न्यूक्लियस को देख सकता है. Such kind of WBCs are called as PMNL. Essentially, the neutrophils are going to taking action on the basis of bacteria, right? Now, monocytes are useful for the purpose of to break down bacteria. Lymphocytes, once again, that can be divided into T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. So these lymphocytes, T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, fight against different types of the pathogens. So whatever the pathogens can get entry inside the human being's body, first of all, PMNL is going to taking action on the basis of any virus or on the basis of any bacteria. So WBCs are the most important one in our body, right? And lastly, cytokine barriers. Cytokine barriers means what? This is a very interesting thing. Have a look here. Looking at the cytokine barriers, I made it very clear here. You can see, I wrote it down there. Interferons. Interferons otherwise is called as antiviral proteins. For example, one animal cell or one plant cell or one human being cell is present there, right? This cell is attacking by one virus, and beside of this cell another cell is present here, and beside of this one another cell is present here, beside of this one another cell is present here, right? Whenever the virus is attacking on the basis of one healthy cell, this cell part is going to damaging. Where exactly the cell part is going to damaging, this particular area, the damaged part of the cell had ability or capacity to produce that one antiviral protein. Antiviral protein. This antiviral protein is called as interferons. These interferons had ability or capacity. The remaining cells are present here, healthy cells. These are not able to get any type of infection in the future days. That means non-infected cells can be protected by interferons or antiviral proteins which are secreting or producing from infected cell of virus. एक वायरस है ना, एक सेल के ऊपर अटैक करता है. अटैक करने के बाद ये जगह को क्या करता है कि डैमेज करता है. ये सेल को किधर डैमेज हो गया, वही पार्ट से क्या उत्पादन होता है, वो सेल से एक प्रोटीन उत्पादन होता है. ये प्रोटीन को क्या नाम बोल सकता है कि एंटीवायरल प्रोटीन बोल सकता है. एंटीवायरल प्रोटीन का नाम क्या है एग्जैक्टली? इंटरफेरॉन्स बोल सकता है. सो सिंपली द मीनिंग फॉर इंटरफेरॉन्स आर virus infected cells had ability or capacity to secrete some of the proteins, to produce some of the proteins. These proteins are called as antiviral proteins, otherwise interferons. In the future days, non-infected cells, otherwise healthy cells, are not able to get any infection due to this antiviral proteins or interference by this particular cell. This particular cell means this antiviral protein is producing by infected cell only. Infected cell later on it will maybe die, and the remaining cells are there. These cells are not affected by viral action due to interference. In the board examination point of view, this question is very, very important. What is meant by interferon, or what is interferon? The antiviral proteins which can be producing or secreting from viral infected cell is called as interferons. Right. So here in this class I explained very clear innate immunity, physical barriers, skin and mucous membrane. Number 2, physiological barriers, TS, saliva and HCl. Number 3, cellular barriers, PMNL, polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Polymorphonuclear leukocytes means otherwise is called as simply WBCs. Eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, lymphocytes and neutrophils. And lastly, cytokinin barriers. I would like to start on my class here. Please you can go through by practice. In the very next class, I would like to explain about acquired immunity. What is acquired immunity? What are the most important components are present there in the acquired immunity? In the very next class, I would like to explain very clear. Till then, please you can go through by practice. Some new terms and terminology is present there. It's not possible to understand at one time. Please you can go through by the practice. If you have any doubts, so please you can go through by you can ask me the doubts. I am ready to explain the doubts. Please you can go through by practice. Thank you so much.